Hello and welcome to this instructional video guide for the University of Leicester's online disclosure tool, Report and Support. This video guide is specifically for staff at the University of Leicester, Leicester Students' Union and Leicester Services Partnership. In this video guide, we will discuss the different functions of the system, clarify how it can be used specifically by staff, and explain what will happen when a disclosure is submitted. We have also developed a similar guide relevant to students, so please refer to that guide for broader information about the system. This system is designed for students to disclose incidents of unacceptable behaviour that they have experienced or witnessed, which have caused concern and/or distress. This system, however, can also be used by staff on behalf of students. The system is currently not for staff to disclose their own experiences of unacceptable behaviours. For staff information in relation to this, please visit the Dignity and Respect at Leicester web pages. Whether it's used by staff or students, this system is not to be used in the case of an emergency. In those circumstances, the usual mechanisms apply, as noted here. Also, although this is a system to disclose information about incidents involving unacceptable behaviour, submission of information on the system does not trigger any formal reporting processes. In order to get a better sense of the system, we would encourage you, once this video is complete, to have a look through yourself and familiarise yourself with it, should you or someone you know need it in the future. To provide an overview of the general functions of the system before we go into detail, please refer to the tabs at the top of the homepage. These sections are also accessed through scrolling down on the homepage. The sections of the system which can be used to provide support are the report function, the support pages, the campaigns section, and the leave site option. The support pages provide general information about the system, give more information and examples of unacceptable behaviours, and provide some information outlining current processes. The campaigns section provides more information about the initiative and team responsible for the report and support system, and the team subsequently responsible for supporting students who have disclosed. This is the Standing Together team. The Standing Together team manage the university-wide initiative to tackle unacceptable behaviours and support students affected by them. If you need to leave the system at any point, you can use this option, which will take you to the Google homepage. If you were to just close your tab at any time during your information input, this information will not be saved, so this is also an option to you. In order to submit your information to disclose, you will need to use the Report tab at the top of the site, or you can access this by scrolling down on the homepage. When you're at this stage of your disclosure, please make sure you read all of the information on this page. This will tell you about the processes followed depending on whether you want to stay anonymous or leave contact details, how your data is stored, linking to our privacy policy, how you can get in touch with any questions, and what the next steps will be. The first part of the disclosure is to choose who you are disclosing on behalf of. Students are able to do this for themselves or on behalf of somebody else. This option in particular is to be used by staff to share information students have disclosed to them, either just to make us aware or for us to be able to offer tailored professional support to that student. For the purpose of this video guide for staff, we will select on behalf of someone else. The questions for both options are the same, just worded slightly differently. The overview information from the previous page is then repeated to try and ensure that it's read properly. There are then a following 12 questions, as shown by the tracker bar at the top, which will ask about the person you're disclosing on behalf of, the incident or incidents you want to share information about, and whether you want to leave contact details or not. All questions have multiple choice answers, so you are not required to provide detailed information at this stage. As the system is primarily designed to share information about unacceptable behaviours students have experienced, the questions are guided around this. So the first and second questions will ask about the student's type of academic study and academic college. Please complete this information for the student rather than in relation to yourself, even if, for example, you work in a different college. Please just complete the information to the best of your ability, so don't worry about knowing all of the answers to the questions. We can discuss the detail and next steps further with you when the information has been submitted and picked up by the Standing Together team. Questions 3 and 4 then ask some basic demographic information around gender identity and age group. Again, this is the student's gender identity and age group, not yours as the staff member disclosing on their behalf. Questions 5 to 10 then ask about the incident or incidents specifically, but again, only brief information is required at this stage. Please note you will have to select answers to most questions before moving on, but please just do this to the best of your ability, knowledge, and memory. This is also the case when categorising the incident type. There are some suggested definitions in the question marks next to each of the incident types, and you can select more than one option. If you can, please try and select the incident type which best suits the student's interpretation and disclosure of it, rather than your own perception or categorisation of what happened. Again, with the time frame and location of the incident or incidents, please just answer as accurately as you can. Please note this system can be used for incidents that didn't occur recently and/or on university campus. You can share any relevant information that a student has disclosed to you about experiencing unacceptable behaviours, even if the incident or incidents were unrelated to the university. If the student knows the person responsible for the unacceptable behaviours and has shared this with you, please select as appropriate. If you can also share with us whether the student has spoken with somebody else about this so far, so you can at least select whichever of these categories you fall into. This can help us tailor support options and next steps for both you and the student. Finally, questions 11 and 12 are in relation to whether you want to leave an email address or not. This is particularly important for staff disclosing on behalf of students, so please follow this carefully. If you want to leave an email address, you can select yes, and an email box will be made available for you to fill in. There are 2 possible email addresses you can leave at this stage, either yours or the student's. If you share your own, a member of the Standing Together team will be in touch within 2 working days in order to discuss next steps. Alternatively, if you are going to leave the student's email address, the student has to be aware you are doing this on their behalf, and you must have explicit consent to do this. Perhaps you might want to share the report and support video guide with them, so they're aware of what they're consenting to if they don't know already. You could also complete this information with them if appropriate. If the student's email address is left, again, we will be in touch within 2 working days. Usually, in an outreach email to a student, we will offer them an options conversation. An options conversation is a discussion with a trained caseworker from Student Support Services who will talk the student through their formal reporting and support options, both internally and external to the university. Students won't be asked to provide a full account of what happened, just specific details that will allow their caseworker to provide them with options and support them through these options. The student's caseworker will guide them through this whole process. If you don't want to leave an email address at this time, you can select no, and this will mean that we will retain the information you've submitted so we can be aware of what's happening in relation to unacceptable behaviours, but we won't be able to offer specific support or take any specific action. If you want to remain anonymous, you will be asked for the reason for this, so we can gather information and better support students moving forwards. Please consider whether this option is appropriate for you as a staff member and do leave contact details, at least for yourself if you can. When all questions are completed, you should send the disclosed information and make sure you see these messages here and here. This means your information will have been sent to the Standing Together team, who will respond accordingly. Those are the main functions of the system explained, but please do have a look through in more detail at your leisure. If you have any questions or feedback, please email standingtogether@le.ac.uk. Thank you for watching. We hope this video was of use.